This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You're listening to INCRadio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at INCRadio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
Yes, it is time to get this show started. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who's tuned into INC Radio Northern Midwest Satellite Studio, wherein we talk about the activities and have discussions with brethren and guests from the districts of Great Lakes and Northern Plains. I am one of your hosts for this afternoon, Brother Gabriel Romero from Bloomingdale, Illinois, District of Great Lakes. It is not just me, of course. Your Northern Midwest trio is here once again. Let's move about an hour northwest to say hi to my fellow brother there in Rockford.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Awesome John Cruz live here from Rockford, Illinois. Thank you for tuning in with us today.
Yes. Not just us two, of course. And like I said, there's a trio. There's always three people. So we're moving across the lake to the hand.
Hey, I like that. Across the lake to the hand. Well, yeah, that's pretty accurate, right? Across Lake Michigan. Yeah, to Michigan. Hi, everyone. Tony Rose Valenzuela broadcasting here from Sterling Heights. Shout out to Sterling Heights. Yes, excited for our broadcast today. This is probably one of my favorite topics, guys. I love love, and we're talking about loving today, right? But specifically, loving through service, right? So hopefully those who are tuning in with us, I see that the live chat is really going. You can share with us your insights, your thoughts on this topic, and we hope to read those a little bit later on. So in terms of our topic today, it might sound complicated, but I promise it's not, right? All right, guys, it's a loving through service. So I guess what comes to mind when you think of service or serving? For you, EJ and Abe, what comes to mind when you just the word service or just the word serving? Like, what comes to mind first for you guys?
I think of I guess that it's not the everything that comes to mind for me, but it's like the first thing that came to mind for me is like the question, like for it to count as service, does it need to be like a paid or like volunteer?
Interesting.
Like
that's
the first question that I asked like myself when I heard when you said service or serving, like in my mind was like, I mean, it's like not like you're not paid to do it, right? You just volunteer to do it, but I don't think that's the same thing, right?
No, I'm glad that you said that, because the kind of service that we're talking about today is not necessarily like the one that you just get paid for, right? It's all kinds of service, because maybe the one that you're thinking of is like, when you tip your servers, like when you go to a restaurant, right? You think like oh yeah, like
profession.
Yeah, profession. Yeah, like you have a waiter, your waitress, right? You'd like to tip in the food service, or maybe when you're at a hotel, you might tip like the do they still have that, like the bellhop when they when they help you like or like moving your luggage and stuff like that?
Really fancy ones, maybe they have it. But
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts on this? Like, what comes to mind when you think of serving or serving others in general?
If it comes to specific like jobs or even professions, like you said, they don't necessarily have to be paid jobs. The first one I thought of was like actual servers in like a restaurant. But then I also thought of teachers, because at least when I think of teachers, they are providing a service to help. At least in terms of what teachers do, they're providing the service of education, or guiding someone, teaching someone, when it comes to aspects of knowledge, or similar things. So yeah, that's what I thought of when I thought of service, because an additional facet, they're not necessarily doing it for a personal gain in any way. It's for helping the other party, right? The second part who they're trying to assist. So when it comes to serving, of course there's the other person. So I think that's a really good key part of service, is
I like
how
that
to
word,
benefit the other
helping.
party.
Like in a way, like a way to describe service, helping. It's like a nice way
Helping,
to
yeah.
describe it.
I'm glad that you brought up teachers, because for me personally, I think they're super underrated. They have a very tough job to be able to prepare these different people to be able to go out in the world and educate them to take on these other jobs, right? Or whether they're in grade school, like primary school versus like college and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure, teachers. Another thing that comes to mind for me is, we have our frontline workers, right? I know they do get paid for this, but it's a tough job, right? Especially we saw that through what we experienced throughout the pandemic. It was really tough for them. I imagine there was no amount of money that could compensate the amount of work that they had to put in, even putting their lives at risk to be able to take care of all those people who are sick. So the medical professionals, who are out there, hospitality, firefighters, right? They may be getting paid for that, but they put their life on the line every time they go out there, right? We
Yeah,
have our
I'm gonna say
police.
like those kinds of like professions where like you said, they put their lives like in danger to help others. A lot of it is not for like the monetary, like whatever compensation they'll get. Like a lot of them are not in there for the money. They're there because like maybe someone they looked up to work in that job, or they saw a need for it, like maybe in their community, right? And they're like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, that's what I'm like. That's a way I can help like people.
That's great that you brought up community, EJ, because aside from just those professions, right, we also do different community service, right? Like what you just said, when you see a need, like I know what a lot of people have done, they've gone and done like coastal cleanups, cleaning up their general areas. I'm not sure what stuff you guys have participated in terms of like outreach or community service. Is there stuff that we've done? Also, like singing for a cause with the INC giving, when we sing to the different whether it's like the elderly, or putting on performances, because music makes everybody puts everybody in a good mood, so that's always nice to do, right? And again, not for personal gain, right? We're just doing it because we want to serve, we want to help out in some capacity. So what are some other ways that you guys have done, like community service, outreach, stuff that you were able to participate in?
I would say like funny you brought up like cleaning up because I like tidying things up. So
You do.
I enjoy like when I hear like a cleanup like activity coming up. I'm like yes, like internally like yes. Okay, we get to tidy up. Like we get to go somewhere, tidy it up, and then it helps. It helps while I'm also able to do something that I like doing.
Nice.
I was
I
gonna
didn't know
say
that about you.
my room needs a little help, so if you want to come over and help clean that up too, I'd appreciate it. But what I've done in terms of community service types of cleanup, we've done park cleanups before. We've added or remulched, I guess, playgrounds, tree plantings. We've also done that in our area. And then also we've also just participated in like donation services, like canned goods that we've given, or if we've had like winter clothes, or not just winter clothes but like any clothes, to donate. I've participated in that as well, helping the needy, like what you mentioned during the pandemic. We've done that, just giving general goods to those in need, those who were affected by the pandemic, and not just only that. But no, there's lots of when you think about it, there's lots of simple things that you can do to provide a service or help. So yeah, it doesn't need to be all out and fancy, but just a simple step you can do.
Yes, I love that you said that, Abe. It's always in the simple things. There's always a simple way to help someone out. It could be a smile. It could be, all those different things. The way that I think about like service is kind of going beyond, right? Going beyond what it may be expected of you or what is your normal. What would be like the baseline? You kind of go beyond that to help someone out so that someone else can benefit. Now, we've kind of mentioned like professions and more, I guess, grander, bigger stuff that we've done, but we kind of do, we serve even just the people in our lives, right? It could be, our coworkers or our friends, our families. Is there a way that you guys serve others, like when it comes to the day to day? Are there things that you guys do that, like something that I like to do for my mom when I get the chance is I like cooking dinner for her. And I consider that as like, I don't have to. She's usually the one, or we could just buy food. But sometimes I like being able to just do that for her. And like, oh, going beyond like above and beyond. Is that what they say? What's the phrase? I don't know. But what's some stuff that you guys do that you like to do for your friends, family,
I'm like
just to
with
go
you on
the
that.
extra mile?
Yeah, I'm like with you that like in terms of like for my like what I can do for my parents because I know that they're always like they're most of the times they're off somewhere to of course for those who don't know my dad's a minister, so for him to perform his duties he's always going somewhere, and my mom accompanies him. So like whatever I can do to help like just tidy up like the pastoral house I do like be it like just like vacuuming vacuuming the floors, sweeping the floors, like clearing up the table. Sometimes it's I know maybe a little messy, or just even washing the dishes, doing a little bit of the laundry. So no like the little things we can do to to help. But how about you, Abe? How about you?
Um, let's see. Day to day, I mean, like there's some aspects of my job that I do, help out certain people. Whether it's answering questions about certain tests that I do during work. Um, but most with that though, I'm just mostly in my lab, so I don't really necessarily socially help out, if that makes any sense. Like I don't have to, like, it's not an in-person direct help in that regard, but um I mean, I can think of just other simple things like what you were mentioning, just helping out around the house. um and I think Tony kind of mentioned it earlier, just even like a simple smile to just when you're like walking down the hallway. I try to put a positive look on me, even if maybe inside things aren't necessarily the best every day. But still, you don't want to bring that aspect of your life to other people. So approach each day with a smile. Be positive, think positive, and yeah, of course, that's going to spread to other people too.
Isn't
So
it nice that just like maybe like let's say you're outside and you just open a door for someone because you see maybe they're carrying something, they don't have, they're carrying a lot of things, like they don't have a free hand, you just open a door for them,
mhm.
like that sort of like appreciation that like like even just a simple thank you from them, like it's nice to hear, it's nice to hear that as well, and of course you're able to help someone.
Yeah, going above and beyond, right, EJ? Like those are things that you don't have to do, right? You don't necessarily have to do them, but you do it because it helps someone out, or because you feel that it's the right thing to do. And that's something also, as officers, or as what we have as Christians inside the Church of Christ. For those who may be watching that don't know, we have these duties that we perform, that are created for the sake of helping others as well. So that's some of the things that we do, that kind of help one another in the day to day, the ways that we can show that we love others through our service, right? So, how has, I guess, your love for serving how has it made things easier, right? Because the reason why we kind of combine the two, you both kind of touched on it a little bit already. That idea of like when you're serving someone else, you feel that kind of, it's like an overwhelming feeling that you want to help, and we can kind of translate that into to loving and caring. But how has your love, made serving easier for you?
I mean, it's basically that, right? You love doing it. You love helping others. So, uh, I would say it would be harder for me to ignore it. Like if I see someone that needs help and I can do something to help them and I don't do it like that, like it weighs on my conscience if I don't. Like if I don't do something to help them. Like let's say like the example I gave earlier, someone's carrying something heavy. Like for me to not, like if I don't open the door for them, I feel guilty. When I see them like struggle to open it, right? That's just one example. Like for me, it would be harder to ignore it if I know I can do something to help them. So it's not that we're doing it because we want to hear thank you or we want to receive appreciation, right? But it helps. It helps to no to or not really that helps. It's like it keeps you going. I don't know how to explain the feeling, right? But even if they don't like say like the words thank you, but you just see the smile on their face, right? Like you know that you've made at least their day a little bit better, right? It's
Right.
uh like it motivates you. That's a good word. That was the word I was looking for. It
Motivate.
motivates you like throughout the rest of the day, right? Like it makes your day easier. It makes your day happier, right? When you're able to help.
I think you and Rachel, Sister Rachel, have the same sentiment. She said, if your love for something is genuine, it makes doing whatever the task is easier,
Mm,
right? Abe, what
yes.
are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think Elsom touched on it a little bit, but for at least me, if it was a task that maybe it was like the first time that I was doing, I might have been a little, scared, even though what's in my heart, you know, wants to provide any assistance that I can. But there is a little bit of maybe empathy. I don't know if that will be the right word, but if you are able to relate um, to that other person, like say you had like a
Mhm.
similar experience and be like, oh, I know what this felt like, and if I were able to receive the help, so you can already picture in your mind, you know um, the appreciation, like what you said, Elsam, that would be felt giving that assistance. And so, at the end of the day, at least with whatever service I would provide, just knowing at the end of the day it's going to be an improvement, that already helps me, to keep going, because with you know with performance at times comes sacrifice, whether that's time, whether that's the actual service, whatever like materials maybe you need to provide, some or other aspects we might not even think of. But at the end of the day, going through all of that effort, right, it's like a hill. Once you reach the top, and you can see, like down below, the path down, it's much easier. I think, like physically, right? Like, going up a hill for a long time is like really hard to do. But once you like see the top and know that you've made that success, it just makes the journey so much easier. And providing that help, like I said, um, that's what keeps me going at the end of the day. Most of all, that overtakes any other feeling that I've had of, maybe feeling tired or doubt, maybe that you're not providing as much help as you can. But yeah, doing everything that you can, that just overwhelms everything in a good way. Like, you cast all worry aside, and you just can't help and smile at the end of it all, right?
Some words that came to mind while you were speaking, Abe, is the first one was um, empathy, and a lot of what you were talking about, just being able to kind of, see that if this person is going through this, I'm sure they would appreciate receiving this kind of help. And you're kind of putting yourselves in their shoes, like, you know what, I'm gonna move and do something for them, even if that means, like what you said, sacrifice, right? Even if that means having to go above and beyond, and doing a little bit more than you normally would, right? And even if you yourself may not gain, like, in that way, right? And another thing that you mentioned too was fulfillment. That's another word that came to mind. It's fulfillment. It's not the same as, like when you get that first paycheck, right? Like, you worked hard for that paycheck, right? And that feels good, but it's something more dynamic. It's something bigger, because you know that someone else has benefited from something that you were to help with. And you kind of addressed a lot of what my next question was going to be, because sometimes there are challenges, right? When we are going through things, like, even though we're trying to do our best to serve others, we go through our own personal things. But kind of what you said relates to that idea of being able to focus on what the outcome is and what the end goal is, to be able to get you through, to overcome that challenge. So my last question to both of you is, what are some things that you have participated in, or a time that you have shared your time, or your invested your resources to be able to serve others? What was that experience, and what did you gain from it?
Mm.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll have one if I'll give you more time to think also. But this was quite a while ago, back in high school. Part of our senior year was dedicated to doing acts of community service, and what I chose to do was tutor at my elementary school. So there are times, right, if when you're trying to teach someone um, that they might not get it right away, or they might not see your way of thinking, and it can be frustrating at times. Like if it was like a subject you were like an expert in, and you're just able to like get an answer in seconds, whereas the other person might have a hard time with it. So um there is that adaptation, or the you have to adjust your way of thinking. And at the end of the day, my goal was to make sure they understood it. For example, like a math problem, um, no matter what technique, if it was like through repetitive problem solving, or certain problem solving methods that may not work, you just have to exert as much effort as you can. Do like whatever research maybe you might need to do, because there's varied styles of learning, right? When it comes to education, but seeing at the end of the day, like when you hear feedback from maybe a parent or like a teacher that this student got improved grades because of that assistance, um, at the end of the day, although there was all of that struggle of trying to teach someone new who was struggling, but seeing again, like we've mentioned throughout our discussion, that end result, it made everything worth it.
Very awesome. EJ, any last thoughts? I know we're running out of time. This is a great topic. You have a lot to say. That's how I know.
Just I mean, just in no, just in the general sense, in terms of like showing your care for others, is just something that I've thought of about like this topic that we were talking about, and it's something that I've heard from someone before, is that you don't always feel like doing it, right? You don't
Mhm.
always feel like you might have like those days where you don't want to open the door for other people, right? Where you don't feel like opening the door for other people, where you don't feel like asking someone if they need help, but you still do it, right? Even if those days come, you still do it. Why? Because like for me, I know they give a different reasoning, but for me, because I look at it more in the longer term, right? Like, yes, like I might feel antisocial today, but that's not always going to be the case. Like there's going to be days where, like, like where I don't feel sad, where I want to help others again, and I don't want my help to just depend on how I feel that day. I want it to be something that I keep doing, even if I don't feel like doing it. And even if I don't feel like wanting to help others today, I still want to be able to do it. So yeah, this little closing thought for the topic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if I can just quickly plug for those who are listening, especially for our brethren in the District of Great Lakes, one of the best experiences that I have ever had is being involved in the district CFO with the district Kadiwa. I'm not married, so not district blood, but district Kadiwa. So I highly encourage you all to always check and see and ask, how can you help? How can you be involved? How can you find more ways to help others, to serve others? There's so many different ways that you can do that. And I hope that you will consider that after today's broadcast. But I know we are running out of time, so that's my last thoughts before we go into our next few segments, because we don't want to end the show without doing these, right? We have our Christian Society for the Deaf, who taught us a phrase for this week, which is "I love my duty." So let's see that. Let's see how we will sign that today.
This is your
Hello everyone, my name is Brother Ivan Kura. I am the president of the CSD, or Christian Society for the Deaf, for our district. And again, welcome to a brand new Sign of the Week. So for all of us, especially us officers inside the Church of Christ, we love to perform our duties. So instead of saying a word for today, we're going to be doing a phrase. 4 simple signs though. I love my duty. So let's take each of them one by one and we'll sign them together. So we'll be signing I. So simple. All you do is just literally point at yourself with your finger. Your dominant hand, just point at yourself. I love, what you'll be doing is that you'll cross your arms like this and have your fist tighten like this and bring it towards your chest like you're hugging someone. So this is love. And then my, also simple, take your dominant hand and place it in the center of your body or your chest, just like this, like you're pledging to someone. My. And then duty, what you'll be doing is that with your dominant hand, shape the letter D just like this. So basically your index finger will be in the air while the rest of your fingers are curved, shaping the letter O, part of the letter D, if that makes sense. And then with your non-dominant hand, stick it out like this. So it's sort of like a fist with your thumb underneath. And then what you'll be doing with the letter D for your dominant hand is just simply tap the back of this hand 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's how you sign duty. So all together, I love my duty. Again, I love my duty. And that's how you sign this phrase of the week, brothers and sisters, and as well as all of our viewers watching today. Thank you so much for joining us in this phrase of the week, and hopefully we catch you next time with another CSD Word of the Week. Thank you, brothers and sisters, as well as to our beloved viewers watching. Have a great day.
This is your
All right. Yes. Thank you. And just to quickly plug, tomorrow, I believe, is the Binhi Skincare Seminar. So make sure that you look out for that. I think that's still going on. And of course, before we close out the show, we do want to do our hashtag winners. I know we're really running tight on time. So let's see who won from last week. Let's go. Yay!
Let's go.
Yay, we're running out of time. So sorry. Okay, one more team. Let's do this broadcast. Let's go. Sorry, we're running out of time. I'm so panicked. Honorable mentions. Hello to all the honorable mentions.
There you go. That's how you
Thank you. And first in Indianapolis for 4th place. Wait, so how many comments did the others have? Because I know.
Yay.
I know all those.
They're great. Chesterton, yay!
Good Chesterton.
Congrats.
Third place.
This is your main heights.
Yay.
First time is this sister. Why is it red blooming the
Yay. Nice
Yay
job.
to all the winners. You are all winners.
Congratulations.
You're all
Not just
winners.
the ones who won, but also everyone who continues to share their hashtags, right?
Yes.
And
Vinny-
just quickly, because I saw this comment earlier, happy 10th anniversary to local congregation of Sterling Heights. our second place winner this week. And Leslie,
Yes, and we really have to go.
yes. We want to say our special thanks to our district ministers here in the District of Great Lakes, Brother Arthur P. Agag, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Erman T. Vendisho, our District Minister, and they're in Northern Place as well, Brother Elmer Parangao, their District Minister, as well as the rest of the district staff. And of course, a very special thanks to Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo, our SEPSI President and CFO Coordinator, most especially to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister. We hope to see you again next week here on INCRadio Northern Midwest. See you guys. Have a great weekend.
Yay!
Phenomenal.
Go be phenomenal. Go be phenomenal. Go help. Love serve. Bye. Thanks for the overtime, Oregon. Bye. So sorry. So sorry.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.